I can see what's coming.
Chantel, I would like to ask you, because even though this is second season for All Mankind, but I'm spreading the word to a Latin America audience, so I would like to know your opinion about why the moon now? Why we have to think about going to the moon?
I know that when Ron very first came up with the idea of the show, he always says that there was a space program that was promised and never delivered. The minute that America landed on the moon back in the 60s, we defunded NASA the next day. So it felt like it was about winning and being first rather than the exploration and what the program could truly do to advance technology, to advance even on our show social issues about race or gender. And so I think it was an alternate history in not a dystopian way, but in a hopeful way, in a way that, hey, maybe we could learn from losing, if you will, and it not being so bad. And I think the metaphor is space. The backdrop of our show is the sci-fi, but really, if you go down to like a smaller level, it's about each character and how that affects us and how we can learn from mistakes.
Let me state as plainly as I can. The greatest threat the United States faces is posed by the Soviet Union.
For me, it was an honest look at the emotional journey that we as humans go through. Parenthood, choices, repercussions. Wonderful way of telling the story and a real treat to dive into the emotional cocktail of these characters. They're just crazy.
Michael, and in last season, you portray this thing that maybe we don't think about it, about exploring the space adventure and being isolated, but the mental stuff that happened. And now we're in a world where we really have to think about mental health. So
yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I mean, it's something that's always been on my heart. The mental element of moving forward, acceptance, truth, seeing what is true in you, and then the ability to be able to expose yourself and lean on your peers, or to express what's really happening in order to move forward. And then isolation, how do you handle being with yourself, for 2, 3 months, 4 months, just alone. It's confronting, but then in the acceptance, that's what,
History has asked much of the Americans of our time. Much we have already given. Much more we must be prepared to give.
Sarah, there is always this talking about depression and mental health, but we don't read a lot, or we don't see a lot of stories about the characters who support the person who is sick or who is having struggle. No, so I would like to hear your opinion, because Michael character has to lean on you.
And it's interesting that you bring that up, because I think much like in life, the people that love and care for people that are going through an emotional journey, whether it's trauma, whether it is a mental health issue, whatever that is, that they don't think much of it. They just do it because they love the person and they care about the person and they just want them to be okay. And in a lot of ways, it was a very interesting time to shoot that, because that resonated for me personally a lot.
Poignant observation, and so I guess all I can say to that is that I think much like in life, the caregivers don't really think much of it. It's just something that they do and they want to do.
There's no going back.